The Jake Asman Show will begin shortly. Thanks to all these great Patreon members who help support the show. Get your super chats ready. Jake will be here in just a moment. If you love the New York Jets, this is the place to be. And now, the Jake Asman Show.
The Jets have started to trim their roster to 53 players. Cutdown day looms. Aaron Rodgers and the Steelers are coming up in 2 weeks. Ladies and gentlemen, it's the Jake Asman Show. Gunny Gumby will join us. Let's hit it and get it started.
You keep the f*** out.
There's a number of things that I think about every morning that get me excited about being a part of this job. And plus, I just love what the hell I do. I have to address that. Between me and them, that's all you need to know. Every day, I'm living my dream. If you want to be a winner, not only have to understand how to win, but to understand how to consistently win.
We bleed Jets green each and every day. Will the playoff drought finally end? Kings of the offseason, baby. This is what we do. At least we have Garrett Wilson. We have Breece Hall. Please subscribe and hit the like button below. Super Chats, baby. Cut the line. We have Sauce Gardner. We have Quinn Williams. Prepare to be underdogs. Now it's time to talk all things New York Jets. It's the Jake Asman Show.
Here we go, here on a Sunday. Welcome in, everybody. I am back from Las Vegas, and we are ready to do our normal show. Big thank you to Badlands, Joe, Connor, PK, Will, the entire team for having me MC their event in the city yesterday. A lot of fun. Bunch of Asmaniacs were there. So great to meet so many Jet fans ahead of the season. Before we bring on today's guest, unfortunately, we have to start with some sad news, but I want to acknowledge this at the top of the show, and hopefully this amazing Asmaniac community can lend their support. For those who haven't been following the last few days, we learned that Lane Kerner, one of our beloved callers, a 1 seed in Asmaniac Madness, the Lane Train, he recently lost his father, Alan, due to a heart attack, which is just absolutely devastating news. So I've been in touch with Lane's mom, Suzanne, and the Kerner family, and we created a GoFundMe to help support Lane and his family during this very difficult time. So if you have the means to do so and you want to help and you want to donate, the link to the Kerner GoFundMe is in the description for the video. I have it right now in the live chat as well. So you could see the link and you could support Lane and his family during this very difficult time. We also updated the Lane Train emoji in honor of Lane here. So if you want to lend your support to Lane and his family, you could do so. In fact, here's a QR code for those of you watching on your TV or computer. If you want to scan it right from your phone, it will take you directly to the fundraiser site, the GoFundMe site, and you could support Lane in memory of Alan Kerner, Lane's father. So obviously devastating news. Lane revealed it on the show the other day, and we wanted to do something to help. So now you can, if you have the means to do so, just scan that QR code or click the link in the description, and it will take you right to the GoFundMe site. And 100% of the money will go directly to Suzanne, Lane, and the Kerner family. On that note, let's try and transition the best we can, and let's talk all things New York Jets. We bring on a good friend to the show, someone I knew well when I lived down in Houston. He's somehow not melting in late August in Texas right now. Gunny from NYJ Situation Report joins the program. What's up, Gunny? How are you?
What's good, Jake? What's good, Jake? Man, listen, I'm trying to stay indoors, man. You know how it is out here in August in Houston. As we've said before, man, it's like a little sample of what hell must feel like in terms of temperature. So I stay indoors, you know what I'm saying, during August. The majority of the family stays indoors or in a pool. But yeah, we're holding it down out here, man. Just holding it down, excited for the season to get here.
Let's go, baby. So Cutdown Day is on Tuesday. Jets need to have their roster at 53 players by 4 p.m. Eastern on Tuesday. We did get a couple cuts yesterday. These are the first players that the Jets have waived to start the process of getting their roster down to 53. Mario Goodrich, Samuel Jackson, no, not the one that played Mace Windu in Star Wars, Neil Johnson, Dymere Miller, Fatorma Muba, and Ontario Wilson all were waived yesterday. No notable names here, at least from my standpoint, Gunny. Anything that you took away from these players that were waived yesterday?
No, not at all. I mean, Samuel Jackson. I keep saying Samuel L. Samuel Jackson definitely was someone we knew was going to get cut. We've joked around why he wasn't cut. You know what I'm saying? In the third quarter of the last preseason game. No surprises. In fact, the only surprise is I feel like the list wasn't long enough. Personally, I would have liked to have seen Kuntz on this list. It would have made my day. But I guess they went a different route with Neil Johnson this time around. But yeah, no surprises really. I think we're going to go ahead and start seeing a lot of the shockers, or hopefully not shockers, because I know we have a lot of our favorites we want to keep, on this 53-man roster. We'll see some of those details as Tuesday comes around.
Well said. And I think ultimately the names to watch, we kind of have an idea on some of the bigger ones. Malachi Corley.
Yeah.
It doesn't feel like his roster spot is safe. Is Jeremy Ruckert's roster spot definitively safe? Those are the two that I'm looking at. And then when it comes to just how they're going to trim this roster down to 53 players, are they going to use the IR slot to try and create a couple extra roster spots? Could they put Alan Lazard or Xavier Gibson potentially on short-term IR, creating more roster spots? Because you look at the wide receiver room in particular, that to me is the most fascinating position group to watch when they have to trim the roster to 53 by Tuesday.
Yeah, no, 100%, right? And I think Lazard might be one of those individuals that makes it to that short-term IR to open up an extra slot on that wide receiver room. I know there's a lot of Jets fans who are not going kind of back and forth between specific candidates, such as whether it's going to be freaking Skinner that we wind up keeping, or is it going to be Smith that we're going to keep. So right now, I think there's a lot of I don't know. Well, I'm anxious. I'm anxious to that wide receiver room. I like Skinner. I like him a lot. I don't know if he makes the cut. Pritchett made a very good case for himself this past freaking preseason game, not only as a wide receiver 5 or 6, but potentially as our special teams guy as well. So, man, when we get down to the cut downs in the wide receiver room, a room where we got to admit isn't the strongest suit for the New York Jets. So a lot of question marks in regards to like who we all feel like deserves a spot. Because after Garrett Wilson, it's just a bunch of dudes, just a bunch of guys. Arian Smith could potentially become a wide receiver too, but I don't think he's there yet. Not fair for us to say he's there yet. But there's question marks, man, in that wide receiver room. And I think keeping an eye on that's going to be key for us as Jets fans over the next few days.
Are you someone who believes Pritchard has to be on this team based on what we saw throughout the summer?
I would take him over Gibson. If you're telling me it's going to be him or it's going to be Gibson, I'd rather take Pritchard. I think Gibson's been on this roster for a long time based off of that dub he gave us against the Buffalo Bills in week 1 after we lost Aaron Rodgers. A lot of emotional hype went into that win, and it bought him some grace over the last couple of years. But if we're being honest with ourselves, we haven't seen Gibson do anything else since. Hasn't contributed as a wide receiver, not really much on special teams. You see Pritchard, and at the very least, you see a level of excitement because he gives us the what if factor, right? The hope factor of maybe he can continue doing this throughout the year and give us more than we've seen from freaking Gibson. So I personally feel if I got to pick between Gibson being that dude or Pritchard, I'd rather have Pritchard on the team. I've bought into the Pritchett, I guess you can say, preseason and training camp hype.
Just there's very few people that had that much ability to make guys miss.
Right.
What we've seen. Like there's some juice there. Like it's not nothing to do what he did with multiple opportunities in doing so. And I just don't see what Xavier Gibson does that we need to keep him on the team at all costs. He doesn't give you anything as a receiver in the actual offense. And at best, he's a mediocre punt returner, kick returner. Like he doesn't really have any juice there. I mean, he had the great moment week 1, 2023. We'll never forget that. But what has he really done since?
100%. Agreed 100%. I just feel like at this point, he's been on this roster based off of that win in week 1 in 2023. Like that's why he's been here, right? Listen, it was exciting. You beat the Buffalo Bills. You lost Aaron Rodgers. A lot of emotion went into that. And I think it's kind of carried him over the last couple of years. But I think it's time for us to go ahead and cut ties here. Pritchard, I think, offers us more as a receiver and special teams. So, yeah, I think that just makes too much sense. So, yeah, I'm definitely team Pritchard for this 53-man roster.
You look at the defensive line room. That's the other position group that I think is fascinating. If you combine both edge and defensive tackle, who are they ultimately going to keep there? We know they added Harrison Phillips. We know they made the trade for Jawan Briggs, so they're safe. Is Jay Tafili definitively on this team? Is he going to take Leonard Taylor's spot? How is there any room for Peyton Page, a UDFA to potentially crack the 53-man roster? What's your read on the defensive tackle, defensive end situation?
Yeah, no, I won't lie, man. Before the trades, I would have definitely had Page making this roster. I think you gotta love his story. You love how much work he's put in to get to this particular point, and he's made some noise in training camp and of course during the preseason. But when you make those trades, 2 slots, I believe, automatically are out the window now in terms of the interior defensive line. So for me, if it's me, I definitely think you got to keep Tufele. I've loved what I've seen in Tufele. Not to mention Tufele is a Aaron Glenn guy. They kind of brought him in, so there's already that connection there. I'm a huge fan of Leonard Taylor, right? So I think Leonard Taylor has to make this team. The kid has a motor. He's nasty. He's violent. He also kind of like contributes to what Aaron Glenn says he's looking for in his football players. So I do believe that a guy like LT3 makes this team. So for me, I'm looking at maybe Williams, Phillips, Tufele, Briggs, and Taylor as being our interior defensive linemen. And then on the edge, we got, of course, McDonald. You got Johnson. Clemens, I think, is going to make this team one way or another. I think at this point, there's not a lot of depth for us behind after Clemens in that edge room. I'm a big fan of Braden McGregor. I would like to go ahead and see Braden McGregor also make it in terms of the edge room. Then that leaves what I think you're deciding between Watts and Jonathan Kingsley. I think that's it, right? And Barron from Miami. We had Barron from Miami. So I don't know if Barron makes it. I don't know if Jonathan Kingsley makes it. I don't know if Weaver. I don't think Weaver winds up making. I think these are guys you possibly
They put him on IR, by the way. So now
they did already.
They put him on short-term IR. So at least they have maybe a potential spot cleared if they were going to keep him originally.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, so I think it boils down to, if I had to pick today, I think it's going to wind up being McDonald, Johnson, of course. I think Clemens makes this team. I think Clemens winds up being that third edge. I'm gonna go McGregor, and then either Watts. I'm gonna go either Watts or
it's tough.
I mean, maybe Barron. I think maybe Barron. I think Barron's more of a practice team but it is tough. You're right. It's very, very hard. But that's where I'm at in terms of what that would look like in terms of our defensive line as a whole.
You know what the thing is too? Like, he was a draft pick in the case of Barron. He really didn't do much though. No. So it's like
he's been a ghost.
Like they didn't keep him. I think we would all understand, but they also used a 5th round pick. And do they want to get rid of a guy they just drafted? How do they feel about moving on from a draft pick that they traded up for? By the way, I think about a ton, but they did trade picks to move up and take Tyler Barron in the first place.
And that's why I think it's like hard to figure out that last slot, right? Because I don't think Barron's done enough to warrant a roster spot. However, they did draft him, they did pick him, right? So they given up on him in year 1, I think, is where they might struggle. But I also feel like he's been so quiet that you can sneak him onto the practice squad. I don't think anyone's gonna pick him up off of waivers to add him to the 53-man roster. So he could be a practice squad guy if you go ahead and waive him, I think. But yeah, it's difficult to get a read on that last 1 to 2 edge spots on that defensive line.
It's going to be fascinating. Cuts, once again, for those tuning in late, they have to be done by 4 p.m. This Tuesday. And then the real thing is, too, the initial 53 might not stay the 53 because then the Jets are going to hopefully be aggressive on the waiver wire. I mentioned Jeremy Rucker's name before. I mean, if his job is to be a blocking tight end, you mean to tell me they can't find a blocking tight end that gets cut by a different team that's a better blocker than Rucker? Because I haven't seen enough from Rucker as a blocker that tells me he definitely has to be on this roster.
Yeah, 100%. And I think a lot of us were rooting for Rucker to be a success, right? I mean, the kid came in, he's homegrown, he's a Jets fan. You know what I'm saying? Like, it was exciting to see one of our own get to put on the uniform, represent the Jets. I've been rooting for the guy. I think we've made enough excuses for the quarterback play being the issue, and then you had Aaron Rodgers. Like, it just seems like he just hasn't elevated his game to the NFL level. I'm with you, man. A lot of people keep saying you keep him because of his blocking, but like, are we serious? I don't really think he's a top tier blocker at the tight end position either. Yeah, I just look at it like this, man. I don't know if he makes this team. I hope, like you're saying, that the Jets are aggressive and they keep an eye out on the tight end market who's getting dropped and maybe pick up somebody to bring in who brings you a bit more. I think the tight end position is going to be very important in this offense to help out Justin Fields. But yeah, I think if we had to pick today, Rucker winds up making this team because he's a blocking tight end that's going to help in the run game.
And to Rick Kent's point in the chat, if we need another Long Island guy that grew up a Jets fan to replace Ruckert on the team, we have that in Andre Sisco already.
Well said. Well said, Rick.
Man, everyone, if you're watching live right now, we're talking with our pal Gunny Henderson, Gunny Gumby, down in Houston, Texas, representing the Jet fan base down there. Make sure you guys check out Gunny's YouTube channel and subscribe there. Let's talk a little bit about the state of this team entering week one after training camp. Now, through the preseason, Gunny, how you feeling going into this first game against Aaron Rodgers and the Steelers? Are you more confident or less confident based on where you were when camp opened a month and a half ago?
I'd say I'm more confident in this team. Seeing the way AG has trained these guys, training camp, going like live practices. He's done things over this past couple of months that we haven't seen in quite some time in Jet Straight. In fact, you don't see it very often around the league at all, right? They're live firing, they're actually hitting, they're actually putting on the pads, and they're tackling. They're playing football in training camp. I think that gives us a bit of an edge. The Steelers, I feel like, are probably going to start off a little bit slow. They didn't start any other starters in any preseason game. Aaron Rodgers got rolled up on, and had a little brace on his leg for the last couple of weeks as well. I think that we might surprise some people coming out of the gate. I'm not saying the Jets are going to the Super Bowl or anything like that, but I think week one, getting the Steelers week one in our house, I think we're better prepared for it than I thought we would have been when this offseason kicked off. I think AJ's done an incredible job in training camp. I don't think we've even begun to see the playbook at its fullest. I think they've held back a lot over the preseason as well, trying to have that element of surprise going into week one. But ultimately, I think it's going to be a defensive matchup, and I'm going to give the advantage to our running game as being what winds up getting us the dub against the Steelers.
Are you nervous about Aaron Rodgers coming back and having an MVP moment against his old team? The SOJ, same old Jets karma, if you will, rearing its ugly head at AG's first game.
Nah, I'm not really scared of Aaron Rodgers in this game. In fact, I'm not really scared of their offense for the first game. I'm more concerned about their defense. I think, you know what I'm saying, the Aaron Rodgers, we were really hoping that last year he had in Green Bay was more of an outlier, and that, you know, even though he still finished statistically as a top 15 quarterback in the NFL, a lot of those drops he had from the wide receivers were a key component in regards to why he struggled or his numbers didn't look Aaron Rodgers-esque. Then we've had him the last couple of years, and of course we bought into the Aaron Rodgers hype because it is freaking Aaron Rodgers. But the fact of the matter is, man, Father Time is Father Time, and he's undefeated. And I think clearly by mid-year last year, we all realized, like, we're not getting the Aaron Rodgers of old, man. He ain't coming back. We're not even getting in the middle of the road type of Aaron Rodgers. Father Time catches up to everyone. And so, yeah, I don't think Aaron Rodgers is going to go ahead and knock it out of the park. I know a lot of people are talking about, like, we're going to have regrets as a fan base when he comes out next year and he becomes an MVP candidate. I don't think that's going to be his story. Not everybody can do what Tom Brady did. I think Aaron Rodgers might have a good average season for a quarterback because he's still one of the greatest of all time. He still has a live arm. But I'm not expecting Aaron Rodgers to light it up this year. And I think anybody who is just kind of hoping he does to rub it in our faces. I'm not scared of Aaron Rodgers. I'm more concerned about that defense than I'm about their offense.
I'm just concerned about maybe him not being great this year, but great in a one-game scenario. And I also could honestly see this being just an ugly game in general, but that's where the unknown of what Glenn is as a coach versus the known of, hey, Mike Tomlin every year wins 9 or 10 games. That's 100%. That to me is what we're looking at here. I don't know if this is going to be like a pretty game, but I don't care if it's the ugliest game ever. The Jets got to win. It would mean so much to this fan base and for this new regime to get that first win against the Steelers. You're at home, your old quarterback, because then you got the Bills week 2. So the last thing they need is to go down 0-2 with losing 2 home games before you go on the road for 2 games against a playoff team and a division opponent.
That's a very good point. Listen, the road to the AFC East title runs through the Bills. I think last year, when we all thought they were going to take a massive step backwards, I realized last year that Josh Allen is probably the best football player in the NFL. He elevated a lot of mediocre players around him to perform at a level that allowed them to dominate the AFC East and to go ahead and go all the way to, deep into the playoffs or a playoff run. I don't want to go 0-2 kicking off that road trip. I think that Steelers win would be a nice one to have in our back pockets. I do think it's going to be an ugly game. I don't think it's going to be a clean, pretty game. It's going to be ugly. I think our running game is going to ultimately be the advantage that potentially gets us over the hump to get that W in our house. And the fact that none of their starters have played at all in the preseason. So I think that's going to be an advantage since they're slowly getting going with Aaron Rodgers being new to that core group. I figured you would have thrown him in there for a couple of live action games, but they didn't do that. So I'm glad they didn't. First time will be against our guys. I like our secondary. I love our starting defensive linemen. I would love to see Will McDonald go after Broderick Jones a couple of times and get to Aaron Rodgers. That would be absolutely chef's kiss, icing on the cake. But yeah, I'm agree with you, man. I don't feel as confident against the Bills as I do against potentially an ugly win against the Steelers in week 1.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's do a giveaway as we are just 2 weeks away from the start of the Jets season. Dealer's choice. Once again, you pick the Jets jersey. You want to win if you win a raffle at the end of the show. We now have 6 options. Justin Fields, Garrett Wilson, Sauce Gardner, Jermaine Johnson. And how about this? The Williams bros, Quinnen or Quincy in green or white. You pick the Jets player you want the jersey in. We send it to you. If your name comes up on the Wheel of Champions at the end of the stream, Rasta Dread has gifted 1 channel membership. Congratulations, Rasta. J-Boy has gifted 1 channel membership. They are the first in our raffle at the end of the show. Our weekly raffle is going to be on my second show tomorrow. So guess what? You have this show and 1 more show tomorrow morning for your chance to enter to win the following weekly prizes in our Asmaniac raffle: a signed Broadway Joe Namath jersey, a signed Kevin Mawai jersey, and a signed photo of the New York Sack Exchange. Ladies and gentlemen, J-Boy back with more 10 spot of gifted memberships. Hey now, the channel memberships are flying off the shelves.
We're the freaking New York Jets, so we're built for this shit.
J-Boy, thank you. And then how about our pal in Austria, the #1 Austrian Jet fan in the house, gifting 5 more memberships as well. Thank you to both J-Boy and Austrian Jet fan for their generosity. We'll get you guys down in our raffle. You know, as far as just what this team has to do, Gunny, to have a chance to be better than most think, give us some of your personal X factors that you feel like if these go the Jets' way, hey, this is going to be a season that many don't think is possible. Well, guess what? They're going to be a lot better than many realize.
Yeah, listen, I think a lot of it's going to fall on the shoulders of Justin Fields, right? I think Justin Fields being the wild card in regards to how much success we can actually see this season is going to show up relatively soon. We'll know whether or not this kid's going to be worth the investment to maybe go keep him around longer down the road. Are we going to be dumping some assets into getting a quarterback next season? We all know he brings that elite trait of being able to run the ball in this game. I personally am a fan of Justin Fields. I was a fan of him when he came out of college. I wanted him over Zach Wilson. I thought he was going to be the pick over Zach Wilson. That was a big surprise for me. I think the dude went toe-to-toe with Trevor Lawrence, who was supposed to be this generational talent. And I felt like it was just the obvious choice. Of course, he goes to Chicago. I don't think he's had the best supporting cast, the best coaching in Chicago. But yet, every single year, if you look at his statistics, the kid has improved every single year in terms of passing. Always an elite runner. But in terms of passing, he's improved every single year. Last year, arguably had his best passing production of his short career thus far in the NFL. And then he got to sit behind Russell Wilson while being coached on Mike Tomlin and watch how the game is played, how you prepare at the quarterback position when you're being coached by a good coaching staff. I think there should be some growth there. How much growth is the real question. I think this is one of the better offensive lines he's ever been blessed with since being in the NFL. I think the coaching staff actually tailoring the game around his skill sets, his strength, is another blessing in disguise that he's going to go ahead and have the opportunity to go ahead and shine. We're going to know if he's a legitimate NFL starting quarterback or not by the end of this year. I think this is his last opportunity. What he does with that is going to say a lot. Now, I think the running game is going to be what sets the tone for our offense, but Justin Fields is going to have to make 5 to 6 plays with his arm, in a game for us to see some success. If he can do that, if Justin Fields can give us 5 to 6 plays of just, good to great passing in a game, I think this team is going to surprise a lot of people. I feel confident in the defense. I think this running game is going to be fun to watch. Tanner Engstrand's already kind of shown us some flashes of what he plans to do offensively. And when you go back and you watch what these guys are doing in the preseason, there's open players all over the field. So again, some concerns in regards to if Justin Fields can see the field in order to use his arm to go ahead and make sure he hits those open guys. Yeah, I don't know if he can do it. I'm hoping he can, but I do know this. We will know by midseason if Justin Fields is going to be the quarterback of the future for the New York Jets, or if we're looking at potentially drafting one in this next draft.
It feels like Fields is going to have to like definitively make it known to everyone he's the guy long term. Otherwise, I think if you're undecided, if you're not sure, you're going to lean with they got to draft the quarterback because it's a way better quarterback class.
Yeah, 100%. You can't risk it. You know what I'm saying? This is a new coaching staff. This is a new regime. You've just signed Sauce Gardner. You've just signed Garrett Wilson. We can't waste these guys' prime years trying to figure out, you know what, if Justin Fields if he's just giving us just enough, right? If he is either the 25th or 22nd best quarterback in the NFL, that to me is not enough. That's not going to be enough for me to say, yeah, let's bet the franchise on Justin Fields getting better every single year. I think with next year's quarterback class, you got to take a swing at getting a guy, at least making him compete for the starting role. I'm not, as much as I love Justin Fields, I'm a big fan of him. I'm a New York Jets fan first, and I'm going to base my decision on Justin Fields on how he looks in games. How is he helping or hurting my team in games? And I think by midseason, we're all going to have that question answered, and we'll either be jumping on our podcast, talking about who the quarterback of the future is going to be, and hoping that the New York Jets are in a comfortable position to be able to move up in the draft to get their guy, or we'll be talking about, wow, Justin Fields figured it out. He's giving us Geno Smith, you know what I'm saying, Baker Mayfield type of energy, and we got our guy in the building, and that's also a win as well.
Well, there's also like a way where essentially they're winning games, and it's not because like Fields is carrying them. It's almost like I use this example a lot. The Bills, when they snuck into the playoffs and ended their playoff drought with Tyrod Taylor, well, guess what? They knew what Tyrod was. He was a solid quarterback. He was not a franchise quarterback you could win a championship with, so they made the aggressive move to trade up to get Josh Allen. Like, no one's saying the Jets can't do something similar. They have this fun year, but they recognize, hey, Fields is a bridge for us for maybe one more year, and we're going to go and get our guy long term. Like, that is a possibility for the Jets as well. So everyone's like, oh, if either Fields is great or he's terrible and we're moving on, it's like he could be okay, and you still decide we've gone as far as we can go with him. I mean, the Chiefs did the same thing with Alex Smith. They then drafted Patrick Mahomes. I mean, the Ravens were still really good with Flacco, but he was past his prime, they thought. By the way, Flacco somehow still starting in the NFL.
Insane to me.
Right? But like the point I've always tried to make is root for wins, people. No one should be talking about tanking and, oh, we got to be bad to get the quarterback. We Jets be bad and then still pick the wrong quarterback. We've seen other teams pick different quarterbacks than what the Jets have picked, and they still remain bad because all the quarterbacks that year end up not being right. So you never know. Aaron Glenn's going to try and win games. He's trying to change the culture. He's trying to erode the stench of losing. Like that should be the goal. Win as many games as possible. And you figure out the quarterback situation at the end of the year based on what happens.
100%. I think you don't go into this season with the plan of, by mid-year, if it's not looking good, all right, let's start tanking games. And again, I don't think AG's built that way. I don't think he's going to, in any way, shape, or form, kind of infuse that within the locker room. He is trying to change the culture, which also you got to appreciate and love the fact that you've heard a lot of the young players literally reiterating the fact that they're working to change his culture and wanting to be a part of the change. So whatever we're hearing on the outside is also being reciprocated in the inside in terms of behind closed doors, because every player on this team talks about changing the culture and how they want to be a part of that process. So again, we could win 8-9 games. Like you just said, win 8-9 games, 10 games, make the playoffs. But Justin Fields was mediocre at best. That doesn't mean he's the guy. The only question I have for you in that situation is, do we believe that the coaching staff and the GM would make the decision of trading up to draft their guy in the draft if they realize that, you know what, Justin Fields, we got to the playoffs, he was the 22nd or 18th best quarterback in the league. Are they going to have the ball, so to speak, to go ahead and make the move of drafting the guy that they know can get them over the hump if this is the ceiling for Justin Fields? That's the concern.
Yeah, I mean, you got to hope that if they're being honest with themselves, they're able to properly evaluate where they are in terms of the other teams in the AFC, where you have to go through in whatever order seemingly to get to a Super Bowl at some point. Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson, Joe Burrow, Patrick Mahomes, Justin Herbert, CJ Stroud. Like, keep going down the list. You're going to have to beat great quarterbacks to get to a championship game, to get to a Super Bowl. So can Fields be that guy? I mean, I hope he is, but in reality, probably not, if we're being honest. So let's have a fun year, and let's then find our long-term guy in the offseason if there's a path to do it.
Agreed 100%. I think at the end of the day, the Justin Fields acquisition gave us as a fan base the most, I guess you can be excited about in terms of potential, because we all have seen Justin Fields not have any help. We saw Justin Fields last year look okay. You know what I'm saying? A 5-to-1 TD to interception ratio, 10-to-1 if you include his legs. And he got benched for it after he won 4 games out of 6. So you're thinking like, okay, there's a potential for him to keep on the rise here. And if that happens, great. But I also think if you're a logical fan and you watch Justin Fields for a while, you've noticed that even in the preseason, a lot of the stuff you saw him do in Chicago, even you saw a little bit of that in the preseason, and that's frustrating. Some of the joint practices I was watching, and I was like, man, he's holding on to the ball too long, man. That windup takes a little while for him to get the ball out of his hands. Like things you were kind of hoping at this point you'd see it going into year 5, he'd be able to clean up or kind of elevate. He hasn't done so yet. Can he do it in game? I'll say this: Justin Fields has always been a guy who seems to play better than he does practice. So he plays better than he practices. Maybe during the games we're going to start seeing a different version of him. But I'm just with you, man. I just think at this point, if yes, I would love for him to work out. I would love for him to go ahead and unlock, you know what I'm saying, his full potential and start hitting that ceiling. Can he do it? That's a huge question mark. But if I had to bet on it today, I'm not betting on Justin Fields to have it figured out.
I think the big question, Gunny, with Fields, it's also Tanner Engstrand as the offensive coordinator. Like, can he design an offense that minimizes the risk of Fields as a passer, but also accentuates what he does really well, which is we know the guy is as dynamic as any quarterback in the league when he's running. Can they build an offense around that? Can they utilize Breece Hall and utilize Braylon Allen and Isaiah Davis? And the O-line, at least on paper, it's probably the best offensive line the Jets have had since Rex Ryan was their coach. So talent-wise, it should be really good. Can he build an offense with those ingredients? Because there should be enough there to at least be a competent offense.
No, 100%. And you saw AG talk about this actually a couple of pressers ago, where one of the reporters stated that, in the passing league, how do you feel about Justin Fields? He says, well, who says it's a passing league? And I'm not gonna lie to you, I didn't notice that. And he breaks down how the reigning Super Bowl champions had the 27th ranked passing attack, and they won the Super Bowl. So why is it a passing league? They were number one in running, and of course they play defense. Now I think there's more to it than that, right? I think Jalen Hurts is a more polished passer than a Justin Fields is, right? But in terms of what the passing game did when they have 2 premium wide receivers in Smith and AJ, they were able to go ahead and win the Super Bowl utilizing their legs, their athleticism, their speed. So can the Jets do something like that? Maybe a great value version of what the Philadelphia Eagles offense looks like? I think so, right? While we're trying to go ahead and figure out if Justin Fields can be the guy. I think we have a stable of running backs that most teams would covet in the NFL. As you said, this offensive line on paper does look like the best thing we've seen since the Mangold era, you know what I'm saying, the Brickashaw era. So this could be going in a positive way for us. But again, I think we need to go ahead and find out if Justin Fields is the guy, because the goal should be winning Super Bowls, not just making the playoffs. We want to win Super Bowls. And as you stated, man, like the AFC is no joke. You got to go through some studs, some greats at the quarterback position in order to get there. Can he go toe-to-toe with those guys? That question remains to be seen.
Comments, questions, super chats, cut the line. Few minutes left with Gunny. Connor Long in the house. Jake Gunny, shout out to the Asmaniacs. What a show yesterday. Jake, thank you. As always, Connor, great job filling in for me yesterday. I had to host the Badlands event in the city, so Connor stepped up and did a great job giving you guys a show the day after a preseason finale on Friday night. It's a great job, Connor. As far as Skinner, Pritchard, and Cook, he wants all 3 of those guys on the team. I just don't know if they're going to carry 3 quarterbacks. As far as Pritchard, I hope he's on the team. And if they kept Skinner, if that's who they decided they wanted to keep between like him and Brandon Smith, I'm good with it, because I don't know why Lazard definitively needs to be on this team. I don't know why Gibson needs to be on this team. It doesn't make any sense to me.
So the Lazard thing, you just said it, right? So I said the other day on my show that if they cut Lazard for all I care, I don't care. You know what I'm saying? The dude hasn't really contributed in a sense to where he's so valuable to this roster that he can't be let go. I'm being told, well, he's a great blocking wide receiver. Well, he's been getting hurt quite a bit the last couple of years, and he hasn't really contributed to W's. So at some point, we got to start looking at potential upside of individuals who can contribute to W's. And I'm with you, man. I think Skinner or Smith could do anything Lazard is supposed to be doing on this roster. Yeah, we'd eat his salary. But at some point, you got to look at you're changing the culture. You got to win games. And this youth movement, I think, just went from the second oldest team in the NFL last year to the second youngest this year. So this youth movement is actually happening. I'd go with one of these younger guys, man, who I think are hungry. And again, at the very least, it's the what if factor. We know what Alan Lazard is. Wide receiver 3 at best, right? When he's firing on all cylinders, why not give one of these young guys an opportunity who've shown out throughout training camp and, of course, throughout the preseason?
My only thing with Lazard is just put him on short-term IR so he can't go to the Steelers before week 1 and basically give the entire playbook to Mike Tomlin before they play.
That's a good point. I had somebody else bring that up to me, too, in regards to not just letting him go. But, yeah, short-term IR. But get him out of the way so we can go ahead and give one of these young guys an opportunity to slide into the role because I think they can do his job and offer us more.
There's more of an upside. Like, we know what Alan Lazard is. Like, I don't need to see what he's like without Aaron Rodgers. I already saw 100%. That in 2023. Like, I'm good. Oh, man. Adam is too cool is the latest Asmaniac to enter our jersey raffle at the end of the stream.
We're the freaking New York Jets, so we're built for this shit.
Adam, thank you. You gifted 5 memberships. We'll get you down in our weekly raffle during tomorrow's show as well. John LG checks in. We have the defense to beat Rodgers. The safeties cover the red line, and Quinn Williams has been working out with the Jugs football machine. Well, they got to put pressure on Rodgers. That is for sure. He didn't play in the preseason. It's a brand new system for him. Brand new linemen, brand new receivers. If not now, then when? Like, he should be rusty in this game. They got to wreak havoc, put pressure on him. Blitz, safety blitz, corner blitz, send the linebackers. I want to see Quincy. I want to see Sherwood use their speed. That, to me, is the path to winning week 1. Pressure the hell out of the quarterback and make life difficult for Rodgers in his first game in a new environment.
100%. Is Mike Williams still the Steeler? I don't know if they.
No, he's not. He retired.
He's not. Oh, did he retire? I did not know that. I was about to say, like, I saw the red line. I was just like, wait a minute. Mike Williams got traded to the Steelers last year. Is he still there? Yeah, I really do. I agree, man. I think that this defense can get after Aaron Rodgers. And what's cool about it is you've heard these guys talk about, man, it's exciting to be able to go ahead and go after Aaron Rodgers because we couldn't hit him when he was here. Now we get a chance to actually hit him in the game. So, like, you got Will McDonald talking about putting his hands on Aaron Rodgers. They're excited about the opportunity. The guy's a statue, right? He's a statue. He's not moving anywhere. He's not moving very well. And I've watched a lot of freaking Steelers training camp. Again, my brother-in-laws are Steelers fans. My mother-in-laws are Steelers fans. So I watched a lot of Steelers preseason training camp. Aaron Rodgers does look like he's lost yet another step. Like, it's looked like that. Ball placement's been a concern for them in training camp and whatnot. I think this is the moment. If you're going to surprise a Steelers team and get this W, I think week 1 is the perfect time for us to get those guys.
Just have that signature win early. Like Rex 100%. Ryan beat Brady and Belichick in week 2. He said, we're not kissing Belichick's rings. And then they went out there and had that signature win early. Like, that to me is what you need if you're Aaron Glenn. Like, you have everyone that's wanting to believe. I think the players are bought in. Yeah. Have that early success story to point to early on in your tenure. And I think you continue to build momentum that this guy knows what he's doing. Things are going to finally be different.
100%. I think this could be a statement win for the team and for the shift in culture, right? To go ahead and beat a guy that you were just worshiping last year in terms of Aaron Rodgers. You go out there and you go ahead and you beat a legend. That's going to be the motivation that these guys need to see that they can do it. The Steelers are no joke, right? I think they're like the 7th ranked team in the power rankings right now. Mike Tomlin is that guy. He's a dude, right? You go up and you go in the situation and you get a win against those dudes. Who knows what it's going to make you feel like going up against the Bills, who we tend to beat at least once a year anyway, right? Like, so for me, I think this game could go a long way to kind of setting the precedent of what this team can look like for the season. Of course, it's all about maintaining it and keeping the momentum going. But yeah, what better way to start the year than to get a W against the Aaron Rodgers and Mike Tomlin and his Steelers?
Gunny, you are the man. I know you got to run, so I appreciate you hopping on. Can you plug your channel? Tell people what you have coming up ahead of the Jet season?
Yeah, brother. Of course. Appreciate you for having me, man. Yeah, y'all can catch me on the New York Jet situation report. I put out videos once a week now in terms of some of the predictions, any kind of breaking news. But we do have the hangout on Tuesday nights at 8 p.m. Central. We get together, we go ahead and we talk Jets football, what's happening, what's coming. Just kind of a cool hangout, kind of laid back environment for us to go ahead and talk Jets. And I'm trying to go ahead and get to 2,000 subscribers. The rush to 2,000 there's about 260 subscribers away. Once I get there, we're going to be giving away an autographed Joe Namath jersey to one of the first 2,000 subscribers of the channel. So if you haven't subscribed, jump over there real quick, subscribe, automatically enter to be one of the first 2,000 subscribers, and then you'll qualify for that giveaway once we hit 2,000 subscribers. Again, it's a beautiful autographed Joe Namath jersey. We'll be giving out to one lucky winner.
Love it. And I just put Gunny's channel link in the live chat for those of you watching. So click on that link. We'll make it nice and easy for you to be able to click and join Gunny's channel. Gunny, you are the man. Try not to melt in Houston, and hopefully I'll see you at a game this season.
Yeah, brother. I'll see you there, man. Thanks for having me again, man.
Ladies and gentlemen, Gunny from NYJ Situation Report with us there. Click the like button if you haven't. We ran the poll. Did you click on the like button? Yes or no? Yes and no, to quote Mets 2128. 151 likes, almost 400 people watching. So the math is not mathing, right? The math is not mathing. Click that like button if you haven't. We are presented today by FanDuel Sportsbook. Jets, Steelers. Jets currently 3-point home underdogs against the Steelers in week 1 of the season. Will the New York Jets win? They better. They better. Comments, questions, super chats, they cut the line. If you missed the start of the show, we shared the news about, of course, the Lane train and the unfortunate passing of his father, Alan. We started a GoFundMe in memory of Alan Kerner, the Lane train's dad. So if you want to donate, the link to do so is in the description. Also, you have the QR code right here on the screen. So if you're watching on your computer, if you're watching on your TV, you can take out your phone and scan the QR code, and it will take you right to the GoFundMe link to support our pal, the Lane Train. And ladies and gentlemen, first up today on the Gusbuster Umbrella Hotline is the man himself.
Hi, how are you? Bruce Hall. That's good. Hi, Jake.
Hey, Lane.
Thank you for posting that for $6. Mommy was a little bit happy. Also, I saw that yesterday. You sent mom videos of me when I first started my first time calling in.
I don't know if I sent that, but we do have some photos of you on the GoFundMe of you from the show.
Oh, yeah, because it feels a little bit upset that he's not here. Before I talk about anything else, and I actually asked in the chat if there's anything good coming. I know that I emailed Nick Sign about some good stuff, so I don't know if he said he was working on it.
So, Lane, check your mail over the next week because I sent you a couple surprise items, okay?
Is it what I think it is? Is it Carly? You know what?
No, not that. I sent you some stuff that I think you're going to like. You're going to be able to display it around the Lane Train room.
Yeah, because I heard that Nick Sign is having something that the big fella, I deserve something good from Carly.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know.
God. Stop bringing up Carly.
So anyway, how was Carly doing? Does she know what happened?
Yes.
Does she feel upset about?
Did you see all the people that have already donated to the GoFundMe line?
Yeah. Is there any pictures of me from the past?
I'll show you the GoFundMe right now, Lane. You ready for this? Watch your screen. Here we go. Yes. Everyone can access this GoFundMe link by clicking the link in the description. Here we go. So this is the GoFundMe. We've already raised, Lane, $1,000. That's how incredible this community is. All the info is here. We got some pictures of you and your dad, your mom.
Yep, that's okay. That's a great picture of me. Oh, looks like I'm on something. Nice. You put me on the train. That's nice.
You're the Lane Train.
Anthony Newman with the ears. With the ears, actually.
And a big
Yeah,
thank
that's
you to
a
everyone
nice
who has
backstory.
donated so far.
Happy. Whoa. Look at all that. Look, Craig, let me see, donated. Trying to see. Oh, Richard.
Nicholas Shine.
Oh, yeah, that's his son. Let me see who else. I wonder if Bobby donated. I don't know if he has donated yet. It's hard for a lot of people because like they're busy or
Well,
on
Lane,
the
we're
on
all
the
we're all thinking about
other,
you, so we want to raise as much
oh,
money
yeah.
as possible for your family.
And so on the other hand, I think that you have to start Quentin Williams in the Jets
You think
because I
so?
think they'll do good. But I mean, I know that Justin Fields is his first year as a Jet because he was on the Bears last year. So how do you feel about the Bears? Do you think their season's going to be good?
How do I feel about the Bears?
Yeah.
It's just interesting how you pivoted from Quentin Williams to the Bears.
Yeah, because I know Justin Fields used to play on that.
He did. He played for them 2 years ago.
So anyway, so I'm just gonna stick with the Jets and Giants.
That makes sense. I think Quentin Williams is going to start week 1.
Really? Yeah, I know. I looked at the paper actually. I predict the score is going to be Jets 41 and the Saints 37.
You think the Jets are going to win 41-37 over the Saints?
Yeah.
What have I told you? They're playing the Steelers week 1.
No. Yeah, I mean, I think the Jets are going to beat the Steelers 37-41, rather.
37-41.
Yeah, that's a lot of scoring, though.
So the Jets are going to score 41?
Yeah. Oh, and I heard that you know my cousin, too.
Who's your cousin?
Evan.
Oh, that's right. I do know. Yes, I had no idea that your cousin is Evan Cohen, who I work with at ESPN.
Really?
Yeah. I saw your cousin last week when I did the morning show. He was there doing his national show.
He's on the sports radio.
He's on ESPN too every morning.
Yeah, I know. I actually saw him in person. He's good, actually. I know he used to live in Florida. He has a lot of kids also. And, you know, got to worry about the Jets' injuries. I think maybe got to think about who you want because, honestly, you can't have everybody on 50-man, 53-man roster. That means you have to cut down on players. Xavier Gibson.
You're going to cut him?
I don't know if you're going to have him starting the season because if he's not good, you have to let him go because you can't have everybody on.
Hey, Lane, what would it sound like if you were to cut Xavier Gibson? What would you say to him?
You're cut. Bye-bye. Oh, what did you say? Whoa, watch your mouth. Wow, he just cursed. Okay, bye-bye. Bye, Xavier Gibson. Why are you cutting me? Because you're not good. I have to cut. Okay, in the locker room now, you have to do the signs now. The guy has to go this way. Now, I'm going to have you start to go on the offense. I'm writing everything down. Guy goes up this way, on the whiteboard, and like this. So listen, everybody. You have to do good with running down on the field. If not, I'm going to be very upset and have to bench somebody, like in college. Is that good?
That's pretty good, Lane. I feel like you nailed it. That's exactly what it would sound like when Aaron Glenn cuts Xavier Gibson if that happens.
Yeah. Oh, the stinky Steelers are just terrible with Aaron Rodgers. I mean, honestly.
You think so?
Well, I mean, how do I feel about the Jets? I think they're going to do good. But yeah, honestly.
You think the Jets are going to do good?
Yeah. Yeah, okay. So thank you for taking my call and I'll have the rest of a good day. Thank
Lane,
you.
send your best to your mom for all of us, okay, and your family. And let her know that I sent her an email with the instructions for her to access the GoFundMe, okay?
Okay. Thank you. Bye-bye.
You got it. Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for one of the all-time greats, the Lane Train.
Hi. Sorry, everybody. See you next call when we talk about sports again.
What a legend. I mean, wow. Lane, don't talk about Carly again. How's Carly doing? Amazing. All right. Super Chats will cut the line. Reminder that we are gifting memberships for the raffle tomorrow. Your chance to win a Joe Namath signed jersey, a Kevin Mawai Hall of Fame signature jersey, and a photo signed by Joe Klecko and Marty Lyons of the famous New York Sack Exchange. And this is a 16 by 20 photo, so it is a big, big photo. Will look great in a Jet Man cave or women cave ahead of the season. I don't want to discriminate to the 4%ers. And if you don't win, maybe you'll want to win something today. Enter to win a signed, or not signed, but enter to win a Quinn Williams jersey, or a Quincy Williams jersey, or a Jermaine jersey, or a Sauce jersey, or a Garrett jersey, or a Justin Fields jersey. You pick the jersey you want to win by entering our daily raffle at the end of the stream. All right, on that note, let's get to more of your calls. We're talking Jets. Cutdown day is Tuesday. Ladies and gentlemen, it's Clifton time. Clifton?
I'm here. Did my intro cut off? I thought I had a couple more seconds.
No, the intro played in its entirety, at least from what I saw.
Yeah, sometimes StreamYard doesn't simulate the actual viewer experience on YouTube. Lane is the king of transitions. He is the king of the wild non sequiturs. It's like reading James Joyce for the first time, but for YouTube sports call-in shows. It's wild.
It is remarkable.
It's great. So for Justin Fields, I feel like we talk about him a lot because, quite frankly, I mean, that's how much weight he holds as far as this upcoming season. Like, what is it going to take for us not to? Are we drafting a quarterback no matter what in the first round next year?
Not that they win so many games where they're not in love with any of the options.
So, but what does that look like? 11, 12 games, and he plays well.
Maybe 10.
And what is well? Like, is it 66%, 3,200 yards, 850 yards rushing?
See, that's the question. I don't know if we could come up with the right stats. I think it's an eye test thing. Are they winning games because their quarterback is a catalyst, or is he a passenger? Like, are they winning games like how they won games with Mark Sanchez the first 2 years, where he was, especially his rookie year, a detriment, but they won in spite of him? Or year two, where I would say he was probably about an average starter in the league in 2010. Like, are they winning games because the team is stacked or the coaching staff is great, or are they winning games because Fields is elevating? Like, elevating guys. He's the reason. I think if the answer is that, you probably don't draft the quarterback. You feel like you have your guy. If the answer is, well, we can win with them if everything goes right, which how often does that happen year over year? That's why, like, the Jets weren't going to be able to have sustained success because Sanchez was never going to be that guy. Then you have to consider drafting the quarterback because you don't owe anything long-term to Fields.
Right. And I'm presuming that statistics that kind of gauge taking care of the ball are going to come in pretty large with him. Specifically the fumbles, which have been a problematic in the past, right?
The fumbles, he has done a better job at cutting back on all turnovers in his last like 12 starts. That said, here we go. Fresh start, new season. You're the guy. Like, we're not like trying to have you just manage the game because we know we're getting Russell Wilson back at some point. Like I think they did last year in Pittsburgh. It's like, you're the definitive starter. There's no competition. You're the guy. Take the reins. This is your last chance to be said dude.
Yeah, play well within the structure. That's the demand
Bingo.
on Fields, right? Just to one of the commenters, it's 6'7", so and I have the phone at a special angle kind of removed from me so I can kind of see it and it doesn't overheat. But thanks for your time, Jake.
Kyle, you're the man. Great call. Love the Jets gear outside. Ladies and gentlemen, the Lane Train GoFundMe. I am not surprised because we have the best community. 21 donations already. $1,300 raised. Incredible. 100% of the money will go directly to the Kerner family. Amazing. Not surprising, but that's what this community does, baby. Open phone lines for those of you who want in on the show. Call in, be a part of it. Big thank you again to a bunch of the listeners I met at the Badlands live show yesterday. A lot of fun to be there, MC it. They had a bunch of awesome people in the Jets community that were there. O'Leary was there. Richie was there. Richie Stickers, as this chat now calls them. Obviously, the full Badlands team of Joe, Connor, Will, PK, Meegs, Jets Jake. No, I am not Jets Jake, even though I get that a lot. Jets Jake is the producer for the New Heights podcast with the Kelsey brothers. But here's a photo from yesterday of the full team. Dan, Max, a bunch of people from the beat were there. Zach Rosenblatt, Rich Samini, Brian Costello, Antoine. A lot of fun. A lot of fun yesterday. I got a chance to MC it. And I was wearing my Jets chain, baby. I was iced out, as the kids say, right?
If it's your first time at a Badlands live show, make some noise. Woo! If you're feeling good about the New York Jets, make some noise. Yeah! We're going to have a great time tonight. Obviously, there's going to be some great segments from all the Badlands personalities, some great special guests as well.
A lot of fun. Big shout out to the best fans in sports. Once again, 200-something people could pack a venue on a Saturday afternoon in August. How many fan bases can do that when the team has not made the playoffs since 2010? Think about that. It's amazing. Barbarossa writes in, my prediction is the Jets will end the season having played 17 games. Wow.
Now that is a hot take. Damn.
That's a take right there, folks. That is a take. Ladies and gentlemen, more of your calls on our Gusbuster Umbrella hotline.
Well, there's a feller they call Charleston Jets rude, 'cause he calls the show nude, never wears a shirt. And some folks, they don't think he's got pants on either. It's a gosh darn nudist camp. Let's hear it for that Charleston Jets Rube and see if he has any Jets points today.
Hey, Jake, how are you, buddy?
Are you okay, Mr. Rube?
Okay, yeah, why you ask?
What's that noise?
Oh, that's my poor dog. I have
it's your dog. Okay, I thought that was a human noise there.
No, he's going to be 13 in November. He's a chow mix, and I don't know, the last few weeks he's been coughing, and the vet's given him a couple different medicines, and we got a x-ray here end of last week, and he's got fluid in his lungs. I don't know. We're hoping we can get him through this, but
sorry to hear
we're
that.
just
Hopefully
not
he gets
sure.
better.
Yeah, me too. It's been a lot of sleepless nights here recently, but we love the guy, so hopefully we can get him through this. But anyways, the end. You know, I feel like we really, really need to address that. And you know, after they took care of the tackle, even before the tackle, I felt like that was our biggest need. But I do have faith in Muji and Glenn that they'll make something happen. And then I'm really, really hoping that we can pick up a tight end from another team on Cutdown and get rid of Rutherford. He just hasn't. It's almost like every year he's been in the league, he's regressed. It doesn't make any sense. The guy just gets worse and worse. And you know, my question to you is, you know, I know we're not going to be a pass heavy team. I get that. We're not too strong at the bottom of our wide receiver, or at the top of our wide receiver depth chart, but I really like the bottom of it. I mean, what do you think the chances are that we will keep Skinner and Brandon Smith? I would love to keep both those guys.
Kind of feels like there might only be room for one, depending on what they do with Lazard and Gibson. If either of them or one of them is short-term IR. I think Pritchard's making the team, though. I do think there's a spot. The way Glenn spoke about him after the game Friday lends me to believe he's going to be one of the receivers they keep no matter what.
You know, I tend to agree with that, but the thing that makes me just a little bit nervous is, if I'm not mistaken, Gibson didn't even play week 3, did he?
He was hurt. They kept him out.
Oh, that's right. He's hurt. Okay. That makes me feel a little better, because, yes, I would like – I mean, we know Clemens is going to be here, but ultimately by the end of the year, you know, I want him gone. I want Lazard gone. I want Ruckert gone. I want Gibson gone. I mean, all these guys that were kind of fringe guys that, you know, show something here and there, but ultimately just aren't that good. We need to move on from these folks if we're talking about having this, you know, changing the culture and all that. I mean, outside of Gibson's that first game against Buffalo, that return, he hasn't really done anything. And every time he goes back to return a punt, I hold my breath, man. I don't trust Gibson at all. But anyways, I'm just really, really hoping that we can find a way to keep Skinner and Brandon Smith. You know, I think if we only put one of them on the roster and then hope we can get the other one on the practice squad, I would rather keep Brandon Smith, but I really like them both. So here's to hopefully making that happen, and also you know, Muji making something happen with the end. Like I say, when Clemens is our third guy, that just makes me real nervous. But anyways, nice to see you back here, Jake, and as always, go fucking Jets. Love you, bud.
Rube, sorry to hear about your dog. Good luck. And appreciate the call as always. Open phone lines for those who want in. DT, I see you're in the chat. If you want to pop on for a few minutes here, more than welcome to. Here's the schedule for the Jets this week. Player media availability tomorrow at 10:45. Aaron Glenn will speak at 11:35. Practice is at 12. Tuesday, August 26th, there's no media availability. It's a walkthrough. So the Jets in the past have had practice on that Tuesday, and the media is there, and you're looking around. The media is only allowed to shoot a portion of practice now because training camp is over. So the media is looking around being like, I don't see so-and-so. Does this mean they got cut, right? So Glenn avoiding that is doing practice now tomorrow, where the Jets don't need to obviously make any cuts to 53 till Tuesday at 4. So the next time the media is at practice won't be till Wednesday, August 27th. Player media availability at 10:35. Glenn will talk at 11:25. Practice at noon. Thursday, no media availability. There's no practice. Friday through Sunday, that's August 29th through August 31st, no media availability Labor Day weekend. So Glenn giving the players off Thursday through Sunday, like most teams around the league do, if not all of them. And then it's game week, just like that. The coaches won't be off that weekend. They're going to be getting ready to put a game plan together for Pittsburgh. Turd Ferguson in the house. Rucker would probably get picked up immediately, so I wonder if Kuntz manages to be back in the practice squad once again. I mean, maybe they would keep Kuntz on the practice squad. I don't see why. How many years in a row are we going to keep Zach Kuntz on the practice squad all year? And, they're going to develop him. And then we see him in the preseason. Has he looked any better than what we've seen when we first started watching Zach Kuntz 2 years ago? Has he been any better? I would say no. Am I wrong? That drop he had the other day was brutal. Adam says, who's the new Tanzel Smart? Good question. Duncan says, who's a surprise keep, surprise cut? Watch for Andrew Beck to get cut. Here's why. He's a vested veteran. He's got veteran status. He could be this year's Nick Bawden, where the Jets to basically do a little roster gymnastics, release him with the intention of bringing him back. We saw the Jets do this with Thomas Morstead 2 years ago too, remember? A surprise keep? Brandon Smith. Peyton Page. One of them could make it on both sides of the ball. Ladies and gentlemen, J-Boy has gifted a channel membership. He enters our raffle for one. J-Boy's up to, I believe, 12 entries in our jersey raffle. Let me throw this out there for the chat. If you're going to get a Jets jersey, who are you picking? Fields, Wilson, Sauce, JJ, Q, Quincy. Who are you picking? You got 6 options now. Who are you taking and why? Who you got? Mr. Gorilla Salad says, Jake, do you think they're going to be in the market for a wide receiver after all the cuts? Shouldn't they? Right? Shouldn't they? I think so. There's a report the other day that they called about receivers. Then later that day, they traded for 2 defensive tackles. Kyle Clifton says, Quinnen, always go for the big guy. Well, I'm glad we added the Williams bros to the raffle then. Kyle Clifton. Will he enter the Asmaniac raffle? Robin Boy, a Joe Namath 12 jersey. Current players, Robin. But you always can't go wrong with a Namath jersey. Now, Robin, you should enter the raffle, though, for tomorrow. Because on tomorrow's show, we are giving away a signed Joe Willie jersey. J-Boy says, Quincy, hard to pass up. Love that. John needs to be JJ. Shout out to you, John. Love Jermaine. So excited for him to be back. So important to this defense. Rick Kent writes in, to me, Edwards is just another Bam Knight. He'll leave the Jets and disappear on a practice squad. I think Donovan Edwards is not going to make the team. And I think what we will see is him on the practice squad in all likelihood. If no one claims him. I don't know if anyone's going to claim him. Jets Johnny, Q's the right way to go. Quinnen Williams, man, think about how long he's been with this team. He's been here since Adam Gase's first year. He's the longest tenured Jet. He's still only 27. Isn't that amazing? Quinnen Williams is still only 27 years old. 27 years old. He turns 28 in December. He's so young. It's crazy. This guy was here for Adam Gase. Every year, Saleh. Now, Aaron Glenn. God, do I want Quinnen to be a part of a team that ends this playoff drought. He deserves it. We talk about Sauce and Garrett and Brees and Jermaine in that draft class. Quinnen was here for 3 years before they showed up. Charleston Jets Rube says, thanks, everybody. Charleston, I'm assuming you wanted to enter the raffle with this one. So we will allow $5 super chats to qualify for this show. Charleston Jets Rube in the raffle for one. John Bradley says, Gase is known as the virus by Gangrene UK. John, you're the man. Shout out to you guys at Gangrene UK. I'm bummed I won't be able to make it out to London this year because of my radio show on Sundays. But I will be going to Tampa, so I'm still doing at least one road game this year. And late in the year, that Patriot game matters. Maybe we take the show to Foxborough. Maybe. Robin Boy writes in, nerdy fun fact about Jets jerseys. Only number 24 is in the Ring of Honor. Freeman McNeil and Darrell Revis. Only number 24. Well, no, there's other numbers that have been retired by the Jets or other numbers that are in the Ring of Honor. You're saying twice, though. I see. Freeman McNeil and Darrell. Yep. David T says, I have a Q jersey. Deserves all good things. Yeah, the guy's been here for the long haul. He really has. All right, open phone lines. Hopefully some people call in here. Let's talk some Jets. Let's talk NFL. How we feeling? I don't want to talk about the New York Yankees until I'm on the radio tomorrow this week and I hammer them. I'm filling in for Michael K all week. I should have mentioned this earlier. So Monday to Friday, I'm doing radio 1 to 3 this week. What that means is our first show on the day will start at 9 a.m. as opposed to 10 a.m. So I'm in for the K-Steer tomorrow through Friday. 1 to 3, ESPN New York. Download the ESPN New York app. Back to your calls we go. Ladies and gentlemen, on the Gusbuster Umbrella Hotline is... Beast. Beast. Beast, your audio is not good. Could you go to your normal setup? Beast.
What? Son of a bitch. I know.
Beast.
That's straight monkey head.
Beast, we're on the air.
Woof, woof. Meow, meow, meow. Woof, woof. Woof, woof. Meow, meow. Woof, woof. Woof, woof. Meow, meow. Three marks at 210.
I guess you got to blow up the Death Star first, then you can talk to us. Beast.
Ready, go. Go, 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 go. Attack point 3038386. Go, 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 go.
Hey, Beast, can you raise the camera up a little bit?
Get out of the corner, get out of the corner.
Beast truly lives in a time capsule.
Point 403. Too many guns! Screw the guns, just get the fighters! Nobody gives a shit.
Beast, thank you. Unreal. Kyle Clifton in the raffle for 5. Sauce and G5 aren't bad choices now that they're signed, but Q is a great choice due to his tenure. JJ, very shaky choice, could be on his way out after next season. Cut Ruck. Well, you do get at least 2 guaranteed years, though, of JJ. But I see your point, Mr. Clifton. Cut Ruckard, yeah, I mean, look, just hasn't worked. Stone Smart, to me, is ahead of Ruckard on the depth chart. He offers more. Andrew Beck is ahead of Ruckard as a fullback / tight end hybrid. I thought Ruckard would be in that role. I don't think we've seen it once. King of Kings says someone needs to get Beast at PlayStation 2. He's way behind. Jets Johnny, imagine the fate of the universe relies on Beastbreaker. Mr. Gorilla Salad with his Asmaniac super chat here. He's Porkins. God. Ralphie checks in. This should be the most active post-cut week in recent history. Don't love the depth of receiver, tight end, linebacker. Linebacker, I don't know how much they're going to do there. Receiver, tight end, be on the lookout. Mike D's Nuts says, what's up, all? One of the greats. Mike D's Nuts in the house. All right. More calls, open phone lines. Anyone wants in on the conversation. Let's do a little Ask Jake Anything. Football related, sports related, show related. You come up with the questions and I answer them. That's how it goes, baby.
It's time for Ask Jake Anything. Ask about New York sports, Can't afford a therapist? Maybe Jake can help. We can even discuss if the moon landing was real. Seriously, ask Jake anything.
What do we got? What do you got? Comments, questions, super chats. They cut the line. By the way, new merch in the store. G5 shirt, a hot seller. JakeAsman.com/shop. Jedi Master Obi-Wan Kenobi checks in. Beast, you must use the Force. Trust your instincts. Beast, use the Force, all right?
Watch them guns. They're coming out of nowhere. Stay on target. Stay on target. Stay out of the cup. It's all right. We'll get it. We'll get it back. We'll get it back.
Use the Force, Beast. Use the Force.
Halt. Let's go. Get back in the fight. Get back in the fight. Get back in the fight.
Help me, Beastie One Kenobi. You're my only hope.
Get ready.
Obi-Wan Kenobi. You're my only hope.
There's no escape, you tubby bastard. Don't make me destroy you and make 6 rings irregular on the show.
Bullshit. I'll never let 6 rings be irregular.
Or maybe I'll send you back to Hogwarts School for attic-dwelling Jedi doodles.
Hey, if you don't stop playing that Harry Potter shit, I'm gonna leave the show anyway.
Uh-oh. You hear that, B. Skywalker? 6 rings just sent you to the hole again. There we go.
Adma doodles.
Beast. Help us. Dan with a super chat. What will it take for Hal to finally get rid of Cashman and Boone? I mean, if Hal Steinbrenner is not embarrassed by his team, the product his team is right now, how they are horrific against the Jays, against the Red Sox. They've lost what? 8 straight to Boston? I don't care if the Yankees could beat up on the Rays and the Cardinals and the Twins. When they have played good teams this year, they have stunk. They've embarrassed themselves. They get fundamentally outplayed. And then the manager makes excuses, and the entire culture is so flawed. And don't tell me, they were in the World Series last year. They haven't won a World Series since 2009. They won 1 championship in 25 years. There needs to be wholesale changes. It's enough. It's enough. I don't care if they're going to make the playoffs, which they probably still will because the American League is not good. There's 3 wild cards. You should make the playoffs when your payroll is $300 million. Embarrassing. Eli Betts, are you concerned with AZ Thomas? Did we see him in the preseason? He played in the last game. I haven't seen much on him in that game. Like if anyone highlighted any plays he made. But look, he's a 3rd-round pick. Stevens having a really good camp is encouraging. He doesn't need to play. He's good depth to have for now. And we'll see what happens. But look, I mean, you invested a ton in Sauce. You signed Carter last year. You signed Stevens this year. So there's no clear spot for AZ at this point. Ladies and gentlemen, we have a trade. The New York Jets are involved in said trade. Beast, you're not involved in the trade. But an actual trade to discuss.
Breaking sports news on the Jake Asman Show.
The Jets are trading Derek Nandi back to the Kansas City Chiefs. The Chiefs are trading with the Jets to bring back DT Derek Nandi. The deal includes a 2027 conditional 6/7th pick flop. That's from Jeremy Fowler. Now, he wrote pick flop. I believe it's pick swap, but we see the point. So the Chiefs obviously called the Jets when they saw the Jets traded for 2 defensive tackles this week, which made Nandi expendable. I think the Jets were going to cut him. He's done nothing all summer. And he goes back to the Chiefs where obviously they know him and they think in their system he's good enough for another year. Nandi was not going to make the team, so rather than just cut him, you actually got something for him. Is it a lot? No, but better than nothing. Chiefs trade 6th-round pick for Derek Nandi and a 7th. So the Jets, who traded 2 6th-round picks to get Harrison Phillips, now get another 6th-round pick back. Not bad. This, to me, is just smart jamming. Because you might as well get something than nothing, if you can. But this is not going to make a huge difference for the 2025 Jets. But it is a move, nonetheless. So there you go. Little pick swap style trade. Back to your call, shall we? I'm sure people are dying to weigh in on this. JT called in before this trade, so he didn't call in to talk about it. But JT, you get the first word on said move.
You kidding me? This is all I want to talk about now that I hear about this, man. Let's go. How you doing, Jake?
What's up, my friend? How are you?
Good, good. At least we're able to get something for Nadi, honestly, because he was going to be cut. I actually called in to speak about the moves that led to this, actually. I really love the Harrison Phillips move. I think it's going to help our run defense immensely, him and Briggs, 2 big guys up the middle. Do you think that's enough to put us up from, like, one of the worst run defenses in the league to maybe, like, middle of the pack?
You're talking about the run defense?
Yeah. Yeah, with the 2 new DTs.
I think that they could be maybe league average against the run now. I think
Right.
Quinnen, by the way, has taken upon himself to be a much better all-around run defender. They talked about that on the broadcast. He has also said that publicly to people when he spoke to the media. So between him, now Phillips, Jermaine being back, he's really good against the run on the edge. McDonald adding weight, being coached better. I think they could be okay against the run.
Yeah, I agree with you. And I think that this is going to open up for Quinnen Williams a little bit because now you actually have a name next to Williams. You don't have just some undrafted scrubs, for lack of a better term, standing next to Quinnen. You actually have a name next to him. Harrison Phillips is a name in this league. He's a captain, was a captain. I'm assuming he's not going to be with us, but he's been a captain in this league before. You know what I mean? A fellow division rival. So we've seen him before. I think this move was really good, and I think Muji's working the phones really well at this time. This is something we never saw from Joe Douglas. I don't remember a time where we saw Joe Douglas making trades right before roster cuts. I don't know. Is it just me, or I feel like we've never really seen this in recent memory, at least.
Well, he did that with the Bills last year with the punt returner. Remember Condrickson?
He dealt Condrickton, a move that we would have rather have kept Condrickton. That was just one move, though. Like, we're actually making good moves. I don't know. And
hey, it's better than nothing. I mean, that's for sure.
Yeah, no, I agree. And on the whole punt returning front, do you really think we keep Gibson? Because I have a strange feeling we're going to, as much as I really don't want to. Although his injury could just knock him out of contention for a roster spot as is. I don't know. Do you like, because I know what we want, but do you think they'll keep Gibson?
Do I think they'll keep Gibson? I do think that if he's on the fence, they could use the IR slot to keep him. It feels like they like him a lot, though, so it wouldn't surprise me if he's here. I also want them to keep Pritchard, though. I'd keep Pritchard over Gibson. Maybe there's a way they keep both, or they put Lazard on short-term IR, and their wide receiver room ends up being Garrett, Reynolds, Tyler Johnson, Arian Smith, Xavier Gibson, and Jamal Pritchard.
Yeah, they're not going to, but I would love to see them just swap Lazard for Brandon Smith. Just overall, just get rid of Lazard. Go younger. Brandon Smith is younger, right? I know he's been on our practice squad for a few years now, but he's still younger than Lazard, I imagine. I don't know their exact ages, but I'd rather see the younger talent. Like this team's doing the youth movement. I just love to see them continue that and just cut weight with Alan Lazard completely. He's going to be IR'd, but I just love to see him cut weight with him, honestly.
I guess we think he's going to be IR'd. I don't know if we know that for sure, though.
True. That's also true.
Yeah.
All right. Next, Jake.
JT, great to see you at the watch party last week, man.
Hell yeah, man. Looking forward to more in the future.
Ladies and gentlemen, JT.
You get the fuck out.
Thank you very much, JT. Kyle Clifton says these deals are... How is Kyle Clifton not a channel member? If you get the membership and Kyle Clifton gets it, you get a Garrett Wilson shirt from my store immediately. How is that? And Charleston Jets Roof's not a member either? All right. I'm going to gift the membership. If you get one, you're in our raffle for a Jets jersey of your choosing at the end of the show. This is absurd. We can't have two legendary Asmaniacs not be channel members. Here we go. Bombs away. Membership has been gifted by yours truly. Let's find out who's being entered in the Asmaniac raffle. Dun, dun, dun. Ant-Man's received a channel membership from me. As that was happening, JT gifted a channel membership. JT just called. Now he's gifting. That went to listener Joe Fliz. And then Michael Doramo also just gifted one channel membership to enter the raffle. And that went to Ferris Grimm. Ha. I just saw this comment here from New Q. Jay, give away a Nandi jersey. Do you think there's a single Jet fan that purchased a Derek Nandi jersey? I seriously wonder that. Did anyone out there purchase that player's jersey? Maybe someone in his family, but like not related to family or friends. Unreal. Dylan says Ricky New York might have one. That's true, I guess. I guess he gets a Seminole. Ralphie, does anyone know what number he was? I think he was 91, right? Dylan says 91. Yep, he was 91. He wore 91. We don't know what number Harrison Phillips is going to wear yet. I'm sure the Jets will make him available maybe tomorrow. He wore 97 with the Vikings. He wore 99 with the Bills. Right now for the Jets, 99 is not available because that's Weaver's number. 97 is Michael Fletcher, who I don't think is going to make this team. So that could be available for Phillips if he wants it. But Derek Nottie, we will see you later. Farewell. All right, last chance to get in here. Then we'll spin the Wheel of Champions here on a Sunday. Again, if you want to contribute to the Lane Train GoFundMe in memory of Lane's father, there's the QR code. And if you do donate, 100% of it goes to Lane, his mother Suzanne, and the whole family. Jay Mags. Shout out to Jay. He is in the Asmaniac raffle. He gifted 5 memberships. He's playing to win a Jets jersey.
Hello? You play to win the game.
Jay Mags, hope you're well, my friend. Yankees are a disgrace. Jay, a fellow Jet Yankee fan. Eli says Ricky said he got one. Oh, my God. We got to cut Ricky off for making awful purchases. You can't get a jersey of a player that we knew for a month there was a chance he wouldn't make the team. We knew Nadi was not making the team. Come on. Super chat from Mike. He cuts the line. I was able to watch Gators Beast Part 1. Great watch. Did you watch Part 2 yet, Mike? Gator also released Part 2. I also noticed Beast tell Bobby he was a sorcerer. The signs were there all along. Great point, Mike. Great point.
Abracadabra.
That was a very revealing documentary Gator made. And episode 2 is now out. Duncan writes in, ask Jake, ratio of run plays to pass plays. I think in a perfect world, it's 2-1. Maybe even like almost 3-1 some weeks. Remember the drive the Jets had against the Giants? 12 plays, 10 of which were runs. They had a drive in practice the other day that was a long, lengthy drive where I think there's 16 plays and 14 of the plays were run plays, if I remember correctly. In a perfect world, that's what I believe this offense wants to be. Jet Nation, Skinner or B. Smith? I'd keep Smith. I feel like he's been more consistent this summer. I'd like to keep both if they put Alan Lazard on IR and they cut Gibson. I'd like to keep Skinner, Smith, and Pritchard. Pritchard's the only player I think is definitely on the team. Ask Jake anything. My brother writes in. What was my favorite meal in Vegas? Carbone on a Wednesday night, Zach Asman. That was my favorite. John LG, can we trade a surplus of DBs to a team not in our conference? I think it's possible if the Jets maybe are on the fence about keeping JBC, or if they're on the fence about keeping, sorry, Nate, Qantas Stiggers. Maybe they could trade one of them. I think Stiggers is going to make the team, though. David says, favorite comp drink on the floor in Vegas? Circa had high noons, so that was nice. Some comp high noons. I'm a vodka Red Bull guy, though, too, when I need energy. So they had that. That's how you got to look at it, though. If you're playing like blackjack or other table games, you got to look at it from the perspective, look, as long as I can just stay afloat, I'm getting entertained and I'm getting free drinks. Spencer Green with a super chat here. We're going to get back to your call shortly. Might I ask, I think we should challenge Beast, Gorman, and Bobby. One woman goes on a date with each. She has to pick a winner. Who wins? Chat. A real-life dating competition. Beast, Gorman, Midnight. That poor woman. Bang! Bang! More of your calls right now. Adam is next. Hey, Adam.
Hey, when Noddy makes a strip sack on Josh Allen in the championship game, we'll say thanks again. I knew you'd get that reference.
I love it.
Yeah, that'd be hilarious if he does that, obviously. So something I don't think we talked about much was just like the coaching itself with these preseason games. I believe every 2-minute drill that we did was well executed. Was there any flubs or screw-ups in the 2-minute drills that you saw? Because I don't think we had any problems with those.
No, even in the first half of the game against the Eagles, it's one of the few times the offense didn't look putrid.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes it's about just like getting the call out. Like, remember, it seemed to be so regular. I don't want to say we take it for granted, but like we have delay of game penalties. I'm trying to like, how many delay of game penalties did we have in the preseason? I don't think it was many, if any. Did we?
No, that wasn't an issue, but they did have a couple of procedural penalties against the Eagles. That was not good.
Okay, yeah.
It was mostly backups, though. Like, how many of these penalties were made by the starters? That's what you want to look at.
Exactly. So I'm just thinking again, like, I don't want to say we're taking for granted the coaching difference. I think there'll be a reversion to the mean with the coaching. And I think you're going to see that in some of those situations that we just have been struggling with the last couple of years. So I'm pretty excited about that. And then I guess in the end, is there any different players that you've seen that you think we should try and acquire of any position?
Receiver, for sure.
Yeah.
Tight end,
anyone
if
out
possible.
there that hasn't been talked about? Yeah, like Alec Pierce was brought up, if that's even a thing. And I don't know.
Yeah, it's the same names, but did anyone have Harrison Phillips being available, right? Like, Muji's got to have a better feel for it than we do as fans to try to speculate, you know?
Yeah. And I guess something that's great is when you do bring in a new GM, he's got different connections as well. He might have different relationships too.
Right.
I know Joe Douglas probably did as well, but it's just good to get different people in the Rolodex, people, teams that we don't typically trade with. Although, again, another year, another KC trade. So that's funny.
Yep.
Right. And then lastly, I think, when we look at, the defensive line, I'm excited to see. I'm always excited about how things are going to look because, preseason's what they show you is what they want to show you. But I think we got to also remember, like, the whole defense is going to play the run. The whole defense is going to play the passes. This isn't like the 4 linemen up front are the ones that are going to be burdened with this responsibility. Only them are going to rush the passer, right? Like, we're going to see so much more creativity on defense. I think we're going to see a lot of other players shine. So my last question to you is, outside of a D lineman, who's going to get the first sack for the Jets if you had to pick a player? Non-DL, non-end. Who would it be?
Quincy on a linebacker blitz.
That'd be sick. It'll be a strip sack if he gets there because he's just that good.
We need that Kyler Murray-like hit against Aaron Rodgers week 1 from Quincy.
Yeah, that'd be amazing. Speaking of Kyler Murray, I was watching some of those clips again of him like going crazy with his improvisation. I was like, honestly, like Fields Unleashed in those kinds of situations could be really entertaining as long as he makes the right decisions. So maybe we'll get a little bit of that excitement too. Hopefully the line doesn't break down so crazy, but I think it's going to be a really good game. I think there's so much more unknown with our team compared to the Steelers week 1. And I think that really works to our advantage because there is no tape on how Aaron Glenn, Wilkes, Engstrand are. It's a complete unknown. We have an idea, like we say rush first, but like it's going to be that one pass play. Like if we do like a deep bomb to Arian Smith and catches it for like 30 in the first drive, it will totally put the whole defense, the opposing defense on tilt because they're not going to know what the heck to believe. I really hope we get like a 30-yard reception from Arian Smith in the first game. That would be so cool.
Adam, from your lips to God's ears.
Thanks, man. All right. Happy Sunday. No, you've had a busy weekend.
Sunday. Yep, I have. It's been a crazy week. This week's about to be nuts too. Football season, man. We're here.
Yeah, I'm ready. Totally ready.
You get the fuck out.
Let's go, Adam. Love it. Filling in for Michael K this week, 1 to 3. ESPN New York. Showtime will start at 9 for the first one. 4:35 for the second one. Assuming I could make it through. 6-hour plus days of broadcasting alone. Matthew Frank, are we good with Hennessy? Long snapper, not an issue. Well, I love Hennessy. Built the drink and the snapper. Yeah, I think we're fine with Thomas Hennessy. I mean, he's actually the longest tenured Jet. Not Quinnen, but you get my point. Of players who are known and out there on the starting O or D, it's Quinnen, and then obviously Hennessy has been with the Jets for a long time. Thomas Hennessy has been with the Jets since, let's see, 2017. His original team, he was signed by the Colts. Then he joined the Jets in August of 2017. Been with them all 9 years of his career. 31 years old. At a Duke. Number 42, Thomas Hennessy. J-Boy, another raffle entry. Last chance to get in the raffle. You choose the jersey you want to win. We now have Quinnen Williams and Quincy Williams as options for you to select from in our raffle coming up.
Excuse me.
J-Boy, your gifted membership went to Dan Rather. Hello, Dan. More calls right now, ladies and gentlemen. On the Gusbuster Umbrella Hotline is none other than the Beast with a special guest. Where's little Joey?
He's on your bed.
You were just holding him.
He's enjoying the nice 73-degree weather. In 1 hour, we're about to watch Forbidden Door live from Wembley Stadium in front of 80,000 screaming UK fans. We're about to turn up the gas. We're going to have a nice little ravioli, some garlic bread. Yeah, you see me playing Star Wars. Hey, I'm a nerd, and I'm proud of it. Brand new shirt, new slogan. I'm a nerd, and I'm proud of it.
So why don't you like Harry Potter then?
I hated it in high school. I thought it was rubbish. I'll take Terminator and Star Wars and Indiana Jones and even Kindergarten Cop over that. Especially my best Arnold impression going, there is no bathroom. It is not a tumor. I said it's not a tumor. Come on. And I do say right now, there are going to be more cuts coming its way. Number 88, that Coots guy. Garbage. Bum. I've seen bums better than that in my heyday. And I'll tell you this: if I didn't have all this right in front of me, I'd be on the line going, woo, flying first class. And thank you, DD. Kindergarten Cop was a funny movie, by the way. Very funny, especially when he said, "Oh shit, why'd you do that?"
How is it possible that you're calling it rubbish, but that's British slang? You love Harry Potter. Come on, Beast.
Yeah. Have you smoked a cigarette lately? I think you're trying
No.
to put words in my mouth.
I smoked a cigar, but not a cigarette.
Oh yeah, what kind of cigar? Cuban cigar?
It was not a Cuban cigar, I don't believe.
Aha! So you didn't pull a George Lopez and go show. But I do say for week 1 we're going to beat the Steelers into submission, and I think it's going to be 28-3. Game out. Game over.
Hey, show us little Joey.
He's taking his nap. He's enjoying this nice 73-degree weather.
You were just holding him, though. He's not asleep already.
Yeah, I was holding him. I gave him his
He's
rub.
sleeping already? That was like a minute ago.
He's enjoying. He likes that thing, and he loves that thing that Gator gave him.
12:57. You wrote in the private chat, Jake, little Joey's doing good. We're getting ready for a few Forbidden Door from London, England. And I wrote, coming to you next.
Ready. We're getting ready for that because it starts now that the minutes are going down. We're starting in 54 minutes, and we're watching it live on pay-per-view. See, you got to be ready. If you're not ready for the big fight, then
Where's little Joey?
he's in there. He's in the tunnel that Gator gave him. There you go.
Connor wants to know, did you go to the grocery store and order a bag of bleeps?
I don't think so. That is all rubbish made up of bloated baloney.
There's little Joey.
Yeah, he's enjoying. He likes this tunnel that Gator gave him. He likes it. He's enjoying. Come on now, bon appetit, bon appetit. 28-3, first game. The Bills, 28-24. In Tampa, we're basically going to have a 35-3 because Tampa has nothing. Miami, you can expect a 42-0 blowout. Because the Dolphins, one word, they suck. Put that in writing, buddy. Put it in writing. We got to get ready. But as they say in many different countries, sayonara, adios, ding dong day, ciao, auf Wiedersehen, and good day, cheerio.
Hey, Beast, give us a little tutorial on what it will look like when the Jets sack Aaron Rodgers 2 weeks from today. But first, move your mic that's not plugged in that serves no purpose.
We're going to do it in a different form. Let me give you an example. This right here. This is Aaron Rodgers right here. Prime example. This is what's going to happen to his head. One, two, three. Spine Buster City, buddy. Wham, wham, and boom. That's how you go for the knockout. That's UFC right there for you. See, in UFC, they use this.
I don't think you could do that in an NFL game, though. It has to be a legal tackle.
But, we can always just tell him, hey, Rodgers, since you just got sacked, come here. 1, 2, 3. Welcome to the NFL. Welcome home, bitch. Not your house anymore. Take it to the bank. That's 40.
Well then, thank you, Beast. To the kicker's point, they might call that roughing the passer in a game. Barbarossa, that only works on NFL blitz. Eli, well, that's a personal foul. Bill M, he just crushed little Joey. Frank P, don't squish little Joey. Ralphie, he needs a bigger shirt. J, Beastbreaker 259. JT, now that's 259 pounds of straight man. Man. What a show, huh? James says, Jake, speaking of Hennessy, take a shot on me. Keep up the great work. JETS. Thanks for the support, James. I'm putting you down in our raffle coming up shortly here for 2 entries with this $10 super chat. Oh, yeah. Duncan says, can we have inventory of the posters in the Beast Cave? Hey, Beast, how many posters you got?
Oh, would you like to know? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's 9, 10 right here. 3, 4. That's 14. 2 more, 16. That's all video game. 17 right here. Everything you see here, basically you're looking at 24, 25, but including rare stuff you're never gonna find. Stuff that's in glass frame that maybe somewhere down the road, 20, 30 years from now, I might sell for $1,000 a piece because you're never gonna find it anywhere. Not anywhere. Just answer. Nobody gives a shit.
Beast, thank you. Mr. Flowers says, where's Bonesy? Bonesy called in the other day. And he was at our watch party last Saturday. Mr. Flowers, you're in the raffle for 2. Good luck. J-Boy gifting another membership. He's got the most entries out of anyone in our raffle coming up. Good luck, J-Boy. Johnny Bobani in on the raffle for 1. He gifted a membership. Jet Nation says, hear me out. Jets go 10-7 to make the playoffs. From your lips to God's ears. Ralphie says, Jake, you ever talk hockey with Don LaGreca at ESPN? Seems like a fountain of hockey info. Sometimes. I don't get to see Don a ton, though, because I'm not always there. I think Don is back from vacation this week. I think. Could be wrong. So maybe I'll see him when I get done with the K show during the crossover at the end of shows. But I could be wrong. Yeah, Don is working this week. Him and Alan are doing the show. So I will see Don. John says, Jake, do the Asmaniacs send the Dream a case of Red Bull and a bottle of vodka? I don't know if we need to help the Dream have more alcohol. I think he's doing just fine on his own. Maybe we send him some liquid IV and a bottle of water. Lindo says, Jake, you need an ESPN show. Well, I've shared this on the show this past week. I will be having my own show with Mike Tannenbaum Sundays this year from 8 a.m. to 12 p.m. on ESPN New York. So Mike and I are going to do a weekly football preview show, talking Jets, Giants, and NFL. So that'll be from 8 to noon. And I'll be filling in a lot. Like this week, I'm in for K from 1 to 3. Matthew says, is Joe B going to be a guest with you this year? Yes, the plan is for Joe to be once again Monday mornings. Going to confirm that with Joe this week. Ralphie says, Bonesy won a raffle prize at the party and then ran out. At least he didn't give a long speech this time. Robin Boy Wonders writes in, he gifted a membership. Love it. Bang! Bang! Good luck, Robin. It won't be a Namath jersey if you win, but can be a jersey of your choice among some current Jet players. Charleston has Mania. Take it over ESPN. You guys got to call in this week when I'm in for K. All right. I'm going to do a lot of Jet talk previewing the season. Amanda says, Jake for president. Stop it. Nobody wants that. That'd be a disaster.
Nobody gives a shit.
Michael says, is your dream job a national ESPN show? No, definitely not. Much rather be local, talking New York sports. All right, last chance here. I'm compiling the names as we speak. Robin wants the Quinnen and Green if he wins. Ghost, can't believe we got a draft pick for Noddy. Yeah, pretty good. Better than losing him for nothing. NY Jets, Florida. ESPN has to lock up Connor Long. Yeah, you know how you could sign people to like a futures contract in football? ESPN should get Connor Long locked in. Connor did that show yesterday, by the way, from Italy. When I reached out to him about, hey, do you want to fill in and do a show? Because I couldn't do one yesterday because I was traveling on the Red Eye and then had to do the Badlands event. When I reached out to him, he made no mention of the fact that he was in Italy. And his internet was great. So good job, Connor. Omar. Is Omar the last person to enter the raffle? He's in for 2. You have to check Tannenbaum when he put down the Jets for the Patriots. Well, he's going to be very pro-Jets this year because he helped hire Aaron Glenn. And the Jets paid him a fortune for the 3013 to help run the coach and GM search. So he needs Glenn and the Jets to be successful if Mike is going to get other opportunities to help NFL teams hire coaches and GMs. So Mike's going to be very pro-Jets and positive. Hopefully they're winning games and I could be positive too. But I'll tell you, if the Jets suck and I got to be critical, I have no problem doing that. You guys know that. So that will be an interesting relationship. Because we got to be honest. Of course I want the Jets to be good, but if they suck, I'm not going to blindly defend them. I mean, come on. There was a question about Tampa from Bob. Do I know what section I'm in for the Tampa game? Yes, 234. Go Jets. Adam says, I keep forgetting we have Spielman too. Rick Spielman is, in fact, part of the front office. And he got a full-time job out of this. He's the assistant GM, basically. He's the senior advisor. James, who just sent in a super chat, now is gifted another membership. He's in for 1. I'm putting together the list of names here. Ladies and gentlemen, we saw him from afar earlier in the show, but now we could see him up close and personal. Little Joey.
Yeah. He just had his exercise. He just got his exercises in today. 4 straight. And he did good. And later on this week, he gets a bath, and he's going to get taken to the spa. You said that you marinated the pork chop?
Oh, Beast left. I think Mama Beast walked in there, and then Beast couldn't wait to leave. Come on. Wow. That's so sad. That would have been a great moment to meet Mama Beast. He dropped off immediately. Sad. I wanted to hear more about the marinated pork chops. How many AI images am I about to be receiving from people of Beast eating marinated pork chops? Eli, the panic on his face. Bill M, who was that? Joey Cintron became a channel member himself. He's in for 1. JP, can you do a segment top 5 underrated Jets? Right now or just in general? I mean, off the top of my head, underrated Jets, Michael Carter's number 1 for me. He is so important to what they do. Michael Carter, underrated. Start with him. I think Sherwood is still underrated. He's very important to what they do. I would start with those 2. Spyro K gifted 1 membership. Spyro, thank you. You're on the raffle for 1. Michael says, Beast, did you put pants on? Please. Come on now. Beast doesn't wear pants. It's a Sunday afternoon. Duncan says, might need to listen to Jake while tailgating. Yeah, it's a great time slot, right? A lot of people driving to games on Sundays or to the sports bar they're going to be watching the games from. 8 to noon. Put me on your way to Jet Life for the home opener. Frank P says, Beast forgot to put the on-air light on his door. Kyle Clifton says, after I head to the bar later, I'm going to be marinating pork chops. Or are you saying you're going to be a marinated pork chop? I'm not sure what Kyle Clifton's saying here. Matt Pope, he's entering the raffle for 2. We got a lot at the buzzer here. I can't do the Wheel of Champions. I can't spin it if names keep coming in. Last chance here. 1 minute left. Larry says, I will tune into you while I cook Sunday breakfast. Thank you, Larry. Okay. We are almost ready for a raffle. The Wheel of Champions needs to be spun, folks. And the Wheel of Champions will be spun right after this.
More of your calls right now. Ladies and gentlemen, Keith Best. Hello, Keith. Keith? Hey, Keith. Keith? Keith, you familiar with the work of V-Man? Hey, Keith. Everyone smash their Keith Best emoji if you're an Asmaniac. Keith? Wakey, wakey. All right. Here's today's poll question. Who was better at falling asleep on the air?
V-Man's up next. Hello, V-Man. Come on. V-Man, you up?
Yep. Yep. Sorry. Line is right. Line is freaking out. Sorry.
That was the OG of sleeping on the show. Also, I'm worried about Keith Best's neck, man. He's going to be sore. That's a neck strain waiting to happen the way he's knocked out. All right, so Keith is still asleep. Let's go back to the second time B-Man fell asleep on the air.
Let's go to this guy right now. V-Man's up next. What's up, V-Man?
Good, Jay. How you doing?
I'm good, man. You sound like you just got up from a nap.
I'm just mad, but no.
You look well rested.
No, honestly, I'm not.
You sure
I'm
you weren't sleeping?
No, I wasn't. Yeah, but no, I'm just sorry. I honestly, I can tell you right now, I'm just like totally blanking right now.
All right. One moment. All right, Peter the Great. Keith Best. Frank P, as I'm putting the names together, just said, wait, how about a TED spot? Frank P, this is for you, America.
And I'm proud to be an American, where at least I know I'm free. And I won't forget the men who died, who gave that right to me. And I gladly stand up next to you and defend her still today. 'Cause there ain't no doubt I love this land. God bless the USA.
Beautiful. James, another gifted membership. You people just don't want this raffle to start. James, thank you. You're in for one. Bang! James, I am adding you down. Thank you. Give you another entry here. All right. Here we go. That's it. Stop what you're doing, everyone. Entries have been cut off. Now, let's pull up the Wheel of Champions, shall we? Someone's got to win a Jets jersey of their choice. Before I pull it up, quick reminder, Gator's been releasing the history of Beastbreaker and this show on his YouTube channel at Gator Jets. Part 1 and Part 2 are available. The official origin story of Jason Allen Storm, Beastbreaker. Episode 3 will be released after this show. So all 3 parts are available after this show. That is from Gator himself telling me to tell you that. And now it's time for me to tell you the raffle starts now.
It's time to announce the winners of the weekly Asmaniac Raffle. Let's spin the Jake Asman Show Wheel of Champions and find out which Asmaniac is winning an epic prize.
Good luck to everybody. The wheel is now officially up on the screen. Tomorrow we have our weekly raffle. It will be on the second show of the day. So you have one more show tomorrow to enter to win the 3 weekly prizes. Ladies and gentlemen, good luck again to everyone. Thank you for supporting the show. If you win the jersey during this show here, email me asmanjake@gmail.com. Your full name, your address, the player you want the jersey, the size of the jersey you need, and the color either green or white of said player. Good luck to all. The winner is Austrian Jet fan. Dun, dun, dun. He's done it. Now we got to figure out how we could ship to Austria. We've done it before. We'll have to do it again. Congrats to the number 1 Austrian Jet fan on winning the Asmaniac Daily Raffle. Congratulations to Austrian Jet fan. On that note, we will be back tomorrow. Early start time, 9 a.m. roughly is the projected start time. I'm in for Michael K all week, so I'm doing radio 1 to 3. Afternoon show will start 4:30, 5 o'clock, as I'm still going to try and do my usual 2 shows per day. I was going to end the show, but then I saw that the great Beast Breaker has called back in. Beast, why couldn't we meet your mom there?
Everyone's driving me nuts today. I'm about to get ready for Forbidden Door.
Why couldn't we meet your mom?
You know what? Is this how Sunday's gonna be? Jump all over me like this?
I'm not jumping all over you. You left the show. We heard about marinated pork chops. We all were curious.
Those are from Monday. From Monday. Gotta wait.
We just wanted to hear more about the marinated pork chops.
You gotta wait for them. They're in the marinade right now. I gotta wait. They have to take time. I have to let them marinate for at least a day or 2, and then once they're marinated, then it's all on the go. And they're gonna be stuffed. Very nice. And guess where those pork chops are from? Costco. The best place you can get them. $22 for a good 6-pack. And you can get them fat. You can get them either way. Small, medium, large. I like large. Large and a charge. Big show style. Now, let's get ready for today's great day.
Beast, thank you. All right, that does it. Again, if you guys have the means to do so and you want to support the Lane Kerner family in memory of his dad, Alan, who tragically suffered a heart attack earlier this week, scan that QR code and it will take you to the GoFundMe link. Also, if you just go in the video description, you'll see the link and I'll make it the pinned comment down below when I get done with this show. On that note, thanks to everyone who watched. Thanks to Circa for having us in Vegas the last few days. Hopefully you guys enjoyed some of the shows. Can't wait for football season. Can't wait to head back to Circa anytime I go to Vegas. What a Sunday program. Thank you to Gunny Henderson who joined us for the first hour of the show. On that note, I'll talk to you guys soon. J-E-T-S. Jets. Jets. Jets.
Look, I'm going to turn around.
Keep mooning us. There we go.
No. Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah.
I want to apologize for yesterday. I was trying to show off the name on my jersey, but my desk chair doesn't swivel. So I got up and I showed off my butt.
Flight Boss up next. What's up, Flight Boss?
Hey, what's up, Jake? I love your show, man. You know, I've been watching you for a while.
That can't be your real voice.
Yeah.
You sound like Darth Vader.
Oh, wait a minute, man. I'm new to this stuff. Let me see. My voice changer.
I don't want to sound like a female or nothing. Wait a minute.
Say, Luke, I am your father. We'll let you go, Flight Boss. We couldn't understand anything at all there. This show never ceases to amaze me, man.
Now there's a gas station over here. I'm gonna go get some pizza and see if they have any butter to put on it.
Hey, here's the deal. Just got no chance unless you click on that like button. And you gotta make sure you subscribe to the Jake Asman Show. You don't, you can get the f*** out. Now let's go, Asmaniacs. We're built for this shit.